Top 10 rap albums of 2016. My name is Josh or Envyerz. I know we're in the middle of 2017 right now, but I wanted to drop this video anyways, looking back at some of the most enjoyable albums I've listened to last year. Starting with Danny Brown's Atrocity Exhibition at number 10. 2016 was the first year I actually sat down to listen to some of this man's music, and I've heard of his name before, just never cared to listen to his music. I knew he was a character, I knew he had a personality, and he was actually on XXL's 2012 freshman class. But my biggest problem with Danny Brown's music was his voice. Originally, when I first heard about him, I didn't like the man's voice. I couldn't stand to listen to this man's music. And the only reason why I ended up listening to his album is because huge fan of Mick Jenkins dropped the Healing component around the same time Danny Brown dropped his project. Unfortunately, Mick Jenkins' album wasn't that good in my opinion, and I needed something to fill that music void, so I went to see what Danny Brown's album was all about, and I ended up really enjoying it. Once you get past his voice, you realize he has a nice flow, and he can actually switch it up and make his voice sound normal, but his voice is his uniqueness in a sense. If you want to listen to this album, I'd recommend Tell Me What I Don't Know, or Really Though, featuring Ab-Soul, Kendrick Lamar, and Earl Sweatshirt.
Street smart, PhD, dropped out for a slang and degree. Not on me, keep the doubles off me, cause we was living in hell, couldn't afford property. Little nigga getting fronted from OGs. OZ or Reggie bagged up in the pelly, in the school hallway on the burnout celly.
At number 9, Eyez Rashad's The Sun Tirade. First heard about this guy in XXL's 2014 freshman class cover. XXL, although a lot of people dislike the covers and say certain rappers are trash, etc., etc., XXL really helps me find a variety of different music and a variety of different artists that may or may not be popping off in the near future. And Eyez Rashad was one of those guys where I was really enjoying the style from his cypher and everything else that he's made. But ever since 2014, he hasn't had like a top song until 2 years later where he releases The Sun's Tirade, and it was okay. You know, it wasn't the best thing I've heard in 2016 album wise. As you guys will probably tell, this is at number 9, so there's a few more albums I enjoyed more, but one of the more underrated artists in TDE, I'd recommend listening to For the Squad, Free Lunch, or What's Wrong featuring Kendrick Lamar.
Cut my hand, bump my head, and fell off top and run on sins and friend on friend. If we don't win, and pay your ties and make your fins, and we alright and KO kins and big old rims and LA homes. If that ain't wrong, if I ain't go, I ain't home, I ain't them. No more ends and no more trends and photo 10 and photo lens. Notice this.
At number 8, another TDE artist, ScHoolboy Q, Blank Face LP. Similar to Danny Brown and Eyez Rashad, I first heard about them because of XXL. He was a freshman back in 2013, and there's a theme going on with this video so far. And this may sound stupid, but what drew me away from his music when he first started popping off was in high school. Everyone started wearing these bucket hats because of ScHoolboy Q. That was a whole fad that I'm happy died down real soon once I graduated. Similar to Danny Brown, I don't really listen to ScHoolboy's music, but I can appreciate a good album when I hear one, hence this album being on this list at number 8. I'm definitely going to be looking out for more ScHoolboy Q projects, considering I want his music to grow on me and I want to be able to say I enjoy this man's music, but some of the songs, especially on this album, extremely skippable for me. I couldn't listen to them. I had to move on to the next one. Some of my personal favorite tracks on this album is Blank Face featuring Anderson .Paak and Tookie Knows too. At number 7, we have Kanye West, The Life of Pablo. This album got a lot of hate for some odd reason when it first came out. Like, a lot of people were saying Kanye fell off, worst album he's ever made, and I had to disagree. Have you heard Eyez? People will always compare an artist's older project to some of their newer stuff, and they'll discredit the new stuff because it doesn't sound like the old stuff. And don't get me wrong, I love to compare artists together and some of their previous work together as well, but that doesn't take away credit from what they're working on now. I like the new sound that Kanye was able to make on The Life of Pablo. It sounds similar to the next album that I'm going to have on this list. I'd recommend listening to Real Friends, Waves, 30 Hours, and No More Parties in LA. There's actually quite a few songs I could recommend on this album, and that's surprising to me considering I didn't think I was going to like this album as much as I did because it's from Kanye. I don't really listen to Kanye that much, at least recently. Moving on to number 6, we have Chance the Rapper's Coloring Book. I absolutely love Chance's music, and I love a majority of upcoming rappers from Chicago as well, but this project was extremely overhyped for what it was. It's good music, it's positive music, you know, it's good to have a rapper preaching these types of things, making good music that anyone can listen to. But I feel like the album as a whole is limited to just one type of mood. You got to be happy, or you want to, feel happy in some sense. I listen to the majority of my music in the gym. You know, that's when I get the most time to listen to these. And this definitely is not a gym album for me. Still a good project nonetheless. I just couldn't put it in my top 5 exactly, considering I really love the other 5 guys I have above him. But check out Finish Line, Down, and Blessings on Chance's coloring book album. I think you'd enjoy it.
Kanye's best prodigy. He ain't signed me, but he proud of me. I got some ideas that you gotta see. Make a vid with Shorty and they ship it like the Odyssey. They never seen a rapper practice modesty. I never practice, I only perform. I don't even warn, I don't eat it warm. I won't be reborn.
At number 5, we have Kid Cudi, Passion, Pain, and Demon Slayin. Man, who would have thought that Kid Cudi would make another album that was actually good? Because ever since Man on the Moon, you know, Kid Cudi was probably an OG of mine. First got introduced to rap hip hop because of his music, and his previous projects not that good compared to Man on the Moon. I don't think anything can top Man on the Moon, but I'm willing to listen to anything he drops in the future. And Passion, Pain, and Demon Slayin was, I think, the closest we've gotten so far to a Man on the Moon-esque album. And even not comparing this to any previous of his work either, it sounds like Kid Cudi, or at least the Kid Cudi that I knew growing up. This album brought back a lot of nostalgic feels, fairly decent amount of tracks. All the features on this album are great. He has some with Travis Scott, Andre 3K, even Willow Smith. It feels like it's been so long since I've heard something refreshing from Kid Cudi, or so nostalgic in a sense. So that's why this is in my top 5. It's hip hop. I'd recommend checking out Does It and By Design. At number 4, we have Bass Too High to Riot, a Dreamville artist that I just found out about last year in 2016, and I fell in love with his album immediately. He was one of the few artists to have a feature featuring J. Cole last year. He is signed to Dreamville after all, but I'm shockingly surprised how this man is so underrated. He's signed to Dreamville. You know, everyone talks about J. Cole, whether they love him or hate him, but they don't really talk about the other artists signed under Dreamville, and that's a shame considering Boss makes good music. This album is one of my sleeper picks of 2016. Check out Clouds Never Get Old and Live For.
These niggas, I got a feeling these niggas is out to get me, but trust me, I got them. Straight out the bar, my city love me, we thorough. My nigga, you don't want none of them problems. She acting crazy, she calling me baby. I just be feeding them bitches the bottles. She living way up in Harlem.
At number 3, we have J. Cole, For Your Eyes Only. This may be a controversial pick right here, but once again, this is all just my opinion. This isn't factual. Opinions aren't facts. They're just personal preference, and everyone has an opinion. Some of them better than others. I don't understand the hate for J. Cole. It seems like Kendrick fans hate J. Cole fans, and J. Cole fans don't really like Kendrick fans. It's so weird. Like, how could you not like both of these dudes' music, considering they're the top of the game right now in hip hop? I mean, calling someone a J. Cole fan on the internet is apparently an insult. I don't understand you guys. You guys are weird. But definitely check out For Your Eyes Only. Has some pretty good samples on there. I'd recommend checking out Immortal and Change.
To die a young legend or live a long life unfulfilled, cause you want to change the world, but while alive you never will, cause they only feel you after you gone, or I've been told. And now I'm caught between being heard and getting old. Damn, death creeping in my thoughts lately. My one wish in this bitch, make it quick if the Lord take me.
At number 2, we have Saba's Bucketlist project. Another sleeper pick in my top 5. This album was on repeat almost every single day, to the point where I got tired of listening to this album. You know you listen to an album way too much when you get tired of listening to an album and you know essentially all the lyrics to your favorite songs on that said album. First heard of Saba, like a lot of other people did, on Chance's Angels, and I'm glad I did, because he has a unique voice, unique style. I don't hear anybody making music like this man. He's really refreshing to listen to. Listen to Photosynthesis and the Billy Williams Story.
Oh yes, I made it alive. On the west side, still in my mama house. The kids on my conscience now, cause the youth dying, and it's just more common now, coming ground. Stuck through it all like we coming low, coming down high over life, arrive unannounced, summoning, I'm in the pain of when I'm in doubt. High school, my head in the clouds like I learned about.
At number 1, we have A Tribe Called Quest. We got it from here. Thank you for your service. I'm not a fan of old school rap music. I feel like it sounds way too old. But in 2016, A Tribe Called Quest dropped their newest project, and I'm surprised with how lyrical these dudes are and how much of a rapper these dudes are as well, considering in 2016 and going onwards in 2017, a lot of these top albums, these rappers won't really be rapping. They'll be singing, they'll be doing all this other stuff, but it's good to hear just lyrics and bars like A Tribe Called Quest is able to drop. By far my favorite album to listen to in 2016, and I still listen to it today. With that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you liked it. If you did like it, leave a like on this video. It helps my channel grow. Share it on any social media as well. Also helps my channel grow, along with checking out some of these other videos on screen right now to check out similar content with a similar style. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.